What's up, YouTube? SimplyUnlucky.
Simply Alex over here.
And today we're bringing back the deck profiles from the classic format, which I really like. This is the
this is more of an original format.
Original format for the deck profile, and so we're doing it single decks, and it's just very cool because this is how I want to do deck profile if we're doing like a legit deck, even if though it is a booster box battle deck. But we have done a lot of work on these. We worked on these for like a couple hours. We were like, yo, we gotta make these decks fun, make them even, power levels pretty even. So first off, you guys didn't see the Jaden one. We combined Yuki 1, Jaden 1, and Jaden 2, or Yuki.
Jaden pack 1 and 3.
Which is Duelist pack 1 and 3. And so we ended up making some pretty epic decks because of that. And the deck had a pretty good power level, but why we had to do that in the first place was because the Zane deck had a huge power surge when we added 3 Cyber Dragons, which we had to do because the deck revolves around Cyber Dragon. You guys are probably thinking, well, Cyber Dragon, of course, you know, it's hecka good, it's summon attack, blah, blah, blah. No, Alex didn't even really have to deal with that. It was the fact...
Cyber Dragon was super easy to get over.
Yeah.
Cyber Dragon itself.
Especially once we powered up the deck a little bit from Jaden, and it was just the Jadens combined. It wasn't the Cyber Dragon, it was the fact that there's Future Fusion, Overload Fusion, Power Bond. Oh my god, Power Bond. Bonding the power of the Cyber Dragons together. And
nightmares over that.
Dude, double attack, 5,600, double attacking monsters, insane. And so just cards like that. And but yeah, so we had to pump up Alex's deck a little more, so we went to the structure deck for Jaden and just grabbed a couple cards from there. And so his deck's pretty sweet. You definitely check out that deck profile if you guys have not. It's also on this channel, YuGiOh, every day. And but yeah, so we'll go over this deck real quick. And overall, I don't think did I add anything from outside?
Just the Cyber Dragons, I think.
Oh yeah, a couple Cyber Dragon starter deck cards just to like make it more Cyber Dragon like. Those starter deck cards aren't even that great, but just yeah. Okay, so starting off with Proto Cyber Dragon here. We have 3 of these inside. The reason like I couldn't just have Proto Cyber Dragon in the deck and still have regular Cyber Dragon is because Proto Cyber Dragon is only a Cyber Dragon if it's on the field. So it doesn't have the effect in the hand or the grave.
Which is really important when you get into like Overload Fusion,
Power Bond, yeah, those kind of cards.
Future Fusion, because it doesn't have the name of the deck.
Future Fusion, exactly.
So
we ended up doing 1 Cyber Barrier Dragon because it's actually pretty simple to get out because you just have to have the trap and you can special summon it from the hand or the deck if you tribute a Cyber Dragon, which I believe would come in handy in the duels because we've done some practice duel rounds. 2800 is stronger than his fusion monsters, so there's already that, and it can negate attacks in case he somehow pumps it up or I just want to have fun with it. So, and then here's the 3 Cyber Dragons. Pretty incredible card there, and we have the alternate arts from this duels pack. So I'm pretty excited. Pretty
incredible card.
Yeah, it helps out, and YuGiOh's, of course, here's the fusions. We'll set those out up here as well. So we have 2. It doesn't really matter how many we have. We basically have 3 of each if we wanted to, but yeah. So 2 Cyber Ends, 3 Cyber Twins, and Over Dragon. Basically, Cyber Twin is the main one we're going to go to most of the time. We'll probably do Cyber End if it's like a game finishing move, or I'll do that if it's a game finishing move. You know, just to go for game, especially Power Bond.
Limit breaker.
Yeah, because Power Bond will end up dealing direct damage to my life points at the end and turn towards the original attack of that monster. So it'll deal 4,000.
Risky.
Yeah, risky plays. So
Power Bond isn't your only way to get it out.
Yeah, Cyber End. Well, I could Future Fusion. I just would never Future Fusion for Cyber End because that goes all my Cyber Dragons to the grave.
Straight to the grave.
So I wouldn't be able to Power Bond later. I wouldn't be able to use cards later on. So.
Gotcha.
I could, I guess, if I summoned 2 Proto Cybers, but like, it doesn't seem very plausible. So anyways, that's usually how I'll end up playing that. We did a Reflect Bounty, just came from a starter deck. It's just a cool light machine. It's really not that great, but it does deal direct damage. So,
useful.
Yeah, you know that. Card is terrible, Cyber Kyrian, but I didn't want to like throw in good cards and make the deck even more overpowered than it already was, so it's just a machine light. And this works well with a couple other magics that we have in the deck that we'll talk about here in a minute. Cyber Phoenix, 2 of those. That's just another machine, and it works well with Creature Swap. Creature Swap came in the pack as well, and so you get a draw off of that when it dies. And then Cyber Valley from the starter deck, and just because it's another Cyber card, it probably should have been a Duelist pack Zane. Oh, and maybe it wasn't out yet.
Cyber Valley is super good.
It's not that. I mean, it just stalls, so in case I'm behind, it can bring me back a little bit.
Stalls, draws cards, like, man. I don't know. Yeah. I like that card a lot.
I was never.
Works well in the deck.
I was never a big fan of the card when it came out, so I'm just, if I have to use it, I have to use it though. So there's the monsters, and so there's only what 14, 16 monsters.
Yeah. Both decks are pretty low on monsters.
Well, you have 3 emergency calls, and then I have a lot of cards that go through the deck. So for Magics here, we got 2 Mystical Space Typhoons.
Cool.
And then we have 2 Future Fusions. Mystical Space Typhoon came in the pack, so that's why I'm using those, as well as to stop his Future Fusion, which he ended up putting in his deck as well. So 2 Future Fusions, though, like I mentioned earlier, I go for the Cyber Twin first to keep a Cyber Dragon in my deck.
Definitely.
Also, it could potentially get Cyber Chimera Tech Over Dragon. And the way that would work is that I could go Future Fusion. I only wanted to put 1 Chimera Tech, or what's it called, Overload Fusion, because the card's too broken. So I could go Future Fusion, and then in 2 turns, Chimera Tech Over Dragon would be brought out. But when he comes on the field, he destroys the field. So he would just kill himself because he would kill Future Fusion. But in that time, you could overload. So you can send Cyber Dragon and all the machines in my deck to the grave, and then overload. So this is a 2-card combo.
Wow.
And so you can make a 10,000 attack Chimera Tech Over Dragon. But I don't.
Sounds fair.
It's a risky move too at the same time because if you have anything to stop it for a couple turns, so there's that, and then you have limiter removal. Probably should play 3 of those, but I wanted to keep it at 2 because it's a little overpowered. And at the same time, at the same time though, like it could get stuck in your, you don't want to have like no machines.
I don't think it's been stuck in your hand yet in the box.
Not really. And the other practice rounds, Defusion. Card's a little better than we thought it was. As we were playing, we realized you could defuse your opponent's monsters. So, but it's in here because you can be like Cyber Twin, attack, Defusion, Cyber Dragon, attack. So, power.
Little bit good.
Yeah, Power Bond, pretty crazy card. Everyone knows Power Bond, double the attack. It's polymerization and double the attack of the dragon or the Cyber Dragon to bring out, but it deals damage its original attack to you at the end of the turn. So if it's the 4,000 though, you got to win that turn. If you have 4,000 left life points. And then from the structure deck, we got some couple machine cards here. Machine Armored Unit and Cyber Power Plant, or Repair Plant, yeah. If you have a Cyber Dragon in the grave, you can use one of these effects. If you have 3 Cyber Dragons, you can use both. First one says search for a light machine and add it to your hand.
What?
Yeah, so I think
really good.
I think I did it a couple times. I grabbed Cyber Dragon. And so if you have a Cyber Dragon in your grave, you can go grab another one. And so that's why I don't want to put any more of these in because this one seems pretty broken. But that's why you Future Fusion for Twin, and then you go search out the other Cyber Dragon. The second effect is put 1 target light machine from your graveyard back in your deck. So if you want to use another Cyber Dragon, put it back in your deck, or put a Fusion back, whatever you need to do. Armored.
This card is one of the reasons that I really like
Cyber Valley.
Cyber Valley.
So armored unit here says once per turn when a machine type monster is destroyed by battle. So yours and your opponent's turn because it's once per turn. You can special summon 1 machine type monster from your deck that has the same attribute and less attack. So how much attack does Cyber Valley have?
0.
0 attack. And so that's another way Cyber Kieran works. And once again, I didn't want to play multiple of those because that seemed pretty broken.
Yeah.
So if Cyber Kieran was destroy result of battle, it's a 300 attack terrible monster, but it can go get Cyber Valley, which is 0. So also works well getting Protos out if you need Protos. Yeah. 1 creature swap because creature swap, and then 2 different dimension capsules because it came in the deck and they were like, hey, play this card. So we were like, okay.
It works.
Really good card. And it's a Gold Sarcophagus for those that are wondering. You search out any card in your deck, put it down face down for 2 turns, and if this card is destroyed in the meantime, you lose that card forever. But if you don't, you get it to your hand after 2 turns. Traps. This came in the structure deck. We thought it was a little overpowered, but once we kind of powered up his Jaden deck a little bit, he ended up working around it pretty well. So
yeah.
It wasn't that big a deal.
Deep Prison was very hard for me to deal with in the beginning.
So I was thinking of taking it down to 1, but we've had some pretty good duels where it's been at 2. So, and it doesn't kill Wildheart, and Wildheart gets in there pretty hard sometimes.
Heck yeah.
So Attack Reflector, we played one of those to get out Barrier, and then Cyber Network. I don't really use that much, it's just kind of in there because it's a Cyber Dragon card, and then 2 Trap Jammers because he plays negate attacks, counter speed, traps, and that's counter the counter. So it's pretty fun when that goes off because he thinks he can do something. And then of course Cybernetic Hidden Technology, which is pretty cool. You tribute a Cyber Dragon on your side of the field, destroy one of his attacking monsters, and it works well Proto. And a couple Called Onnets because that also came in the Called Onnet, good card.
Very good card.
But yeah, overall, pretty awesome deck. Pretty overpowered. Definitely one of the more powerful decks we've made for the booster box battles / Duelist Pack Brawls for sure. Is it more powerful than that Lightsworn deck we just made from
we might have to mock it up with
Battle of Legends? Yeah, I don't know. I think I took apart the deck already, but
put it in the collection.
But yeah, definitely a couple powerful decks there. And yeah, so hopefully you guys are excited for the booster box battle. We'll be on SimplyUnlucky very soon, if not as this video is getting posted. So definitely go check that out. And thank you guys for watching. Thanks again to
Simply Alex.
And I'll catch you guys next time. And remember, go check out the Jaden profile that he's done already if you guys haven't seen that. And expect more Yu-Gi-Oh videos every day. And SimplyUnlucky signing.